What's up YouTube, Tactical Swede here once again. Thanks for watching. So, in one of my recent videos, you saw that I had a new addition to the family, and that was the very excellent HK VP9 Tactical. Now, in that video, you also heard me say that this gun right here may very well replace my Glock 19 as my everyday carry. Now, that's saying a lot. As far as an everyday carry gun, I've been a Glock guy for many years, over 10 years, probably closer to 15 years now. I've carried Glocks all the time. I've had several different ones, 23, 19, but it's always been a Glock on my side, wherever I'm carrying. It's always been a Glock. I own a lot of other guns. I like a lot of other guns, but nothing has ever really made me want to switch out the Glock. That is until I held and fired and carried this for a little while. I gotta say, this right here, I think it might have done it. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna take this to the table and I'm gonna go over the reasons why I believe this is my new everyday carry weapon. Let's get in. Alright guys, so here it is, the HK VP9 Tactical. Now, this is the same as the standard VP9 internally. The only differences between this and the standard VP9 is the threaded barrel here, and then this is going to come standard with tritium night sights. The standard VP9 comes with the what I call the glow-in-the-dark sights. They glow in the dark, but they have to be charged with light. So if it's sitting in the dark for a long time, they don't glow anymore. Tritium is going to glow all the time. So this is what most people would call this a full size, but I kind of think it falls kind of in between a compact and a full size. Just for comparison's sake, I got a full size SIG P320 here, and I have my Glock 19, which is a compact. And if you take away the threaded barrel, this kind of falls in the middle. So if you stack these side by side and line them up, you'll see that the slide length is very similar on the Glock 19 and the VP9, and the full-size P320 extends out a bit longer, about the same as the threaded barrel here. Now, the grip height on the P320 and the VP9 are pretty much the same, and then you're going to have a shorter grip height on the Glock. So, as I say, it's kind of in the middle there. If you're familiar with the P320 sizes, I would liken this to the carry version, which is the compact slide length but full size grip height, and that's kind of where I see it fitting. It does hold 15 rounds, which is the same as the Glock 19. I was kind of odd, in my opinion, looking at it, because it does have that same grip size as the full-size P320, which holds 17, but the magazine only holds 15. Not sure why that is. If you look at the SIG mag and the VP9 mag, they're almost identical, but 17 rounds versus 15 rounds. But as I said, the gun I'm replacing also holds 15 rounds, so I'm not making any kind of sacrifice there as far as capacity. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to an everyday carry weapon, for me, the most important thing is obviously going to be reliability. It needs to shoot every time you pull it out. It needs to function. I know that's going to happen with my Glock. These things are proven over time. They're tanks. They'll take a beating and they'll still shoot. So obviously any gun I'm going to replace this with has to be just as reliable. I have no worries about that with this gun here. HK is a very well-known, very reputable manufacturer. They've been making quality weapons for years, so no issues on the reliability side, and what I've shot with it so far backs that up. No problems with reliability. It's been great. Once you get that reliability piece out of the way, then you can start concentrating on the other factors. And in my opinion, those other factors all are on the VP9 side when comparing it to the Glock. So other than reliability, I don't think the Glock competes with this gun in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to go down the list of the things that, you know, I found important to me that made me say, I think this is going to be my new carry gun. Number one is this trigger right here. You have, in my opinion, the best trigger of any striker fired gun on the market today. Obviously that's a subjective thing. Some people will have different opinions about that, but in my opinion, to me, this is the best striker fired trigger on the market today. There's not a whole lot of take up, which I like. I don't like a gun with a whole lot of take up, and it's almost no resistance take up. You know, it pulls back, and then you hit a very distinct wall. It stops, and then as you continue to pull through, nice clean break, and not a whole lot of over travel. Reset, I think, could be better. As it clicks, it almost kind of pushes my finger out a little bit further than I would like. So the reset I don't think is as good as the Glock, but the trigger pull itself is amazing. With the Glock, it's kind of a spongy take up, and you never really hit a distinct wall. It kind of, the resistance increases until it finally breaks. Now, as I said, the reset on the Glock is awesome. You know, nice positive click. You feel it, you hear it. I really like the reset on the Glock, but the trigger pull itself, the VP9 beats it hands down. No arguments. The next thing I think the VP9 does better is the implementation of the grip customization. I said before in the Polymer 80 video, I've never been a fan of the way that Glock implemented the interchangeable backstraps. It was, to me, it felt like it was an afterthought. Other companies are doing this, so we need to do it too. So what can we do that won't require us to change a whole lot? So they came up with this idea of just adding polymer pieces to the back to make it bigger. You know, it just seemed really clunky to me. I don't run with one. I don't like the way they look when they are on there. It looks like there's just a piece slapped to the back of it. Now, the VP9 is an example of a well thought out system. Not only do you have the interchangeable backstrap, but you also have interchangeable side pieces. So you have a small, medium, large sides and a small, medium, large backstrap. So the possibilities are almost infinite on the different configurations. You can really customize this to fit your hand size. Right now I'm running the small sides and the medium backstrap. It fits my hand great, but you can change these things out. You can put a small on one side, a medium on the other, a large back, whatever combination works for you to fit your hand, you can do it. So very well thought out, very well done. It's awesome. I love it. Another thing I like, the full accessory rail. Same thing I said with the Polymer 80 when I was comparing the Glock to the Polymer 80. Full accessory rail allows you a lot more options versus just the single slot rail that the Glock has. After that, looks. I mean, yeah, it's not, when you're talking an everyday carry weapon for self-defense, looks doesn't really matter, but once you get through the function of the gun and the reliability of the gun, you want something that looks nice. The Glock, some people will call them ugly. I don't necessarily think they're ugly, but they're not very interesting to look at. They're very blocky. You have the straight vertical serrations. There's just not a whole lot to look at that makes you go, man, that looks nice. This, now again, looks are a subjective thing. But that's a sexy gun, in my opinion. The angled serrations, front and rear. You got, some milling on the sides. It's tapered in towards the top. Obviously the milling on the side of the slide there. The grip itself looks, it looks more interesting than the Glock does. So, yeah, it doesn't affect how it functions at all, but it just looks like a much nicer gun. And again, looks are subjective, but in my opinion, that's a sexy gun right there. One thing for me, not a big deal, but this is a truly ambidextrous gun. Out of the box, it's ambidextrous. You have slide stop lever, slide release lever, whatever you want to call it, on both sides. So right-handed, left-handed, doesn't matter. You can run that. Also mag release. This does have the paddle style on the trigger guard here, but you have one on both sides. So right out of the box, you can work this from both sides. The Glocks, Gen 3 and earlier, are not ambidextrous at all. Gen 4, they went with the reversible mag release, but you still have to take the gun down, take it out, switch it in order to make it at least somewhat ambidextrous. You still only have one slide release lever there. You don't have one on the other side. Now the new Gen 5, they did add that, but that's a whole nother topic there. One last thing that I will bring up, not a huge deal to me, but it is to some people. You have much like the SIG, you have a no trigger pull disassembly. Lock the slide back, rotate your lever down, and the slide just comes off. There's no need to pull the trigger. Obviously, anytime you're taking your gun apart to clean it, whatever you're going to do, you should be checking to make sure that there's a round in the chamber. But the Glock does have that possibility of a negligent discharge because you have to pull the trigger. So, some people they'll drop the magazine, forget there's a round in the chamber, and then boom, now you got an ND. Not going to happen with this gun because, you drop the mag, and then you got to lock the slide back. First of all, anything that's in the chamber is coming out. And then, again, you still don't have to pull the trigger. So you're negating that possibility of an ND when you take it apart. So there you guys have it. I think I've covered pretty much everything that makes me feel like this is enough of a gun to replace the long-standing Glock as my everyday carry. Now, this ain't going away totally. I'm sure this will still stay in my rotation, depending on time of year, clothing I'm wearing. It is a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to conceal. So maybe in certain circumstances, when I need to conceal a little bit better, this might come back into the rotation. But as far as my everyday workhorse, you're looking at it right here. The absolutely outstanding HK VP9 Tactical. Alright guys, that's all we got today. Just wanted to kind of go over the reasons why I felt this was enough of a gun to replace this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you got any questions about the gun itself or anything, just let me know. As always guys, if you like what I'm doing, give me that thumbs up, and if you're not already, please hit that subscribe button up there. Stay up to date with any new videos we got coming out. We'll catch you next time. Till then, live life and have fun out there.